Let's say the motion was, this House believes that the LGBTQ plus movement should emphasize family values as a part of their activism rather than adopt the view that family values do not matter. So this is a classic social movement motion where the social movement is made to change the messaging of their advocacy in the way they relate to a specific societal narrative, which in this instance would be the notion of family values. The exercise for this motion is to win the characterization battle on, will the LGBT movement be successful in co-opting the existing social norms on family values? And can these values be reclaimed? So this characterization battle is quite critical to this debate, because as you will see, it is quite easy to explain that on either side, family values are already pushed by societal institutions in very oppressive and violent ways right now. Obedience can mean tyranny and the suppression of LGBT voices. Love can be pushing a form of heterosexual love that is very patriarchal and toxic, etc., etc. So if you were government side, it's not again about whether family values are good or bad, but it's about how you would respond to these claims in order to say that family values can be reclaimed. So consider this. The process of sending out this message is inherently unifying for families and individuals in these families. When the LGBT movement highlights family values to allow individuals to embrace their families and their familial identities, then it allows them to pander to the most innate and altruistic components of family. Unconditional love, of forgiveness, of communication and understanding. These values, as we would argue, are relatively more universal, more approximate, and more relatable to a vast majority of families, even if, and especially if, these families have gone through significant emotional strain, because familial activities facilitate better acceptance and understanding so long as this is done in the spirit of family. As we would argue, this is a good counterbalance to bring in a lot more moderates and a good measure to develop other institutions that support the integration of the family into social activism, which include religious institutions, schools, communities, and other political and social civic organizations. So again, what's the bottom line here? Even narrative motions can employ process arguments, especially process arguments that redefine the narrative or contest a narrative. We often talk about the renegotiation of values in a public space. Those renegotiation processes happen in activities, which you will have to illustrate and explain. So as long as you concretize it in those social institutions and activities, such as what we mentioned earlier in showing that family values bring up the most approximate and universal values compared to the more oppressive aspects of family, then it becomes easier to believe that this is the most likely manifestation of what the reclamation process would look like. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.